Hey everybody, it's Sam. This is my response for Module 2, and I forgot to talk about my campaign in my previous video. I got a little distracted when I started coughing, but anyways, my idea for a poster that could be around campus would be several pictures of people's eyes, and it would be with different races, men and women, and in white text in between the pictures of the eyes, it would say privilege is in the eye of the beholder. And it will be in white text, and that way it will be eye-catching, no pun intended. And probably post that on different people's social media pages because that would really catch attention as well. And have discussions around campus and not necessarily lecture, but I guess kind of like that, to make people more aware because some people are not aware. I know I wasn't when I was growing up, so that is that. So moving on to my discussions that I reviewed online. For Timothy, you pointed out that when President Obama was running for term that they thought it would be an achievement for a post-racism society and that it was a bold statement, and I definitely think you're right on that one. And he went on to say that President of color can change society. Well, it does help move towards progress and change, but one person in a political standpoint of color is not the solution. But like you discussed, there is a way that it will help. And we do need to find a way to coexist, to work together, and in higher education, I think that's really important because that's where I know I saw a lot of diversity in college and undergrad, and that was my first really experience with different cultures and religions and multiple races. And then you also talked about that most don't have a perception from another race. And I think that's a great point of view. I'm a white female. I don't understand what an African American female goes through. I can read about it all day long, but unless I see it and I hear it, I don't really understand that. Same for other races. And then he talked about sexism, and I actually just read a thing for work about pay wages, and that women still make 70 cents to a man's dollar. And it's really hard, but I think that's one thing I really enjoy about higher education. I don't know if I'm just missing it, but I don't see it, I guess, as often. I feel like I would get paid the same as a male in my profession in higher education based off of my education, or at least that's what I hope. And moving on to Danny, I absolutely loved your campaign. And talking about your experience with being half white, half Korean, and that you always strive to be more white. And I never really thought that people thought that way, but when you put it in the aspect of white models and actresses and who people look at for inspiration, it's there. And even if you look at children's toys like Barbie dolls, there are a lot of white Barbies, white Kens, and they recently just came out with an African American doll, and I hate to say that it looks atrocious, but it definitely is not appealing to young African American women, and saw a lot of it on Facebook and feed from that. But I definitely love your loving who you are, the skin that you're in, and your hashtag skin you're in is definitely catchy and could definitely get people's attention. And I think posting a selfie, incorporating what people already do into a movement is excellent. And on to Jeremy's, you said that white privilege was something that you had not experienced in undergrad because of the institution that you had attended, but now you're learning to embrace it and you're able to talk to your peers about it. And I think talking about it gets a lot more done and awareness, because some people may not know as well. And like I said, I was in that boat as well. And you also point out that nobody wants to be more privileged. And I know really until college I didn't realize that white privilege was necessarily a thing, just because I never really had heard about it. And it made me really think when I started reading stuff about it and how others are treated, and hearing stories from my peers when I was an undergrad. And students think that we live in a post-racism society, and I can understand that to an extent, but when you really hear other people's stories that have gone through and had experiences that are life-changing, and they see the other end of it, no, I mean, it's definitely better than it was, let's say, in the 60s or 70s, but we're nowhere near close where we should be and where we strive to be. And I did like your campaign idea, just something eye-catching, big white privilege on a poster, get conversations going, videos on the issue online is a great way to do that. And finally, moving on to Teddy's video, the one thing I wanted to focus on for yours was your campaign, but also that you said that people don't realize that they have privilege, and but then on the other aspect, some take advantage of it. So it's very interesting to see both sides of that. But for your campaign, you talked about using lines like "white is right" and "don't hate me because I'm white." They're catchy, and they're I think that's a way to grab people's attention, to get them to want to know what you're going to talk about. And that reminds me of when the Chancellor came to talk to us in EDL 550 last semester, and how he talked about students always said that the W in UNCW stands for white, and they joke about it. And I think that's interesting, because I'm not on the campus, so I don't really see it. The diversity or lack of diversity, however you would like to phrase it. So the fact that students say that, maybe that's something we need to work towards, so that the W necessarily doesn't stand for white from the student aspect. And that's all I have for everybody. Sorry, my video is a little bit longer than I had expected, but I hope you have a great day.